Hello, welcome. Kerry here from Healing Humanity. Where had my
We all disappeared,
We're
Kerry.
all gone.
We're all
Yep.
gone.
All black.
That's not good.
There
Oh,
we
what
go.
happened?
There we go. There we go. We're back.
Kerry's doing a presentation.
Wow. Okay. I think we'll go with this one. Okay. Welcome everyone. Kerry here from Healing Humanity. Tonight is our Thursday night carnivore Q&A. We're going to answer any of your carnivore questions, and we're going to do some giveaways. And before I introduce the panel, I want to do a quick announcement. We're going to be giving away a Healing Humanity shirt. So start posting your questions with hashtag ribeye. You have to post your question, and you have to follow each one of these individuals you see here on the screen. I have a link in the description below for each of their YouTube pages. It takes 2 seconds. You just click subscribe and then post your best question with hashtag ribeye. Welcome, Adam. How's it going, Carnivore, today?
Fabulous, Kerry. We just got back from Montana, and we had a very warm reception at the SPG meetup, which was absolutely incredible. Unexpected a little bit, maybe, because it was they were pretty loud, and it was a little bit humbling. So, good times.
It's good to be home, but it was
Yep.
nice being out there, and we captured 24 more short stories that we're going to be including in the credits of our Healing Humanity documentary. So we're excited to share those with everyone. Lynn, Midlife Carnivore, how's it going?
Good. And I just want to share with everybody, because I was just sharing with you guys that I finally found a way to cook liver that I like. And so I just posted a video, really short, 2-minute video on my channel today. So if you guys hate liver, but you want to have liver, go check it out. I'm like, now once a week, I'm going to make this recipe.
Wow.
It's not one of those things where you just throw it in the trash, is it?
Believe it or
This is how you
not,
make it.
I ended up eating 3 helpings.
Wow.
Because I liked it so
Impressive.
much.
Wow.
It wasn't just that I tolerated it. It was delicious.
I got to check that out.
Good stuff. Dr. Nelson, how are you?
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
I'm
Dr.
doing
Nelson.
great.
Howdy.
Welcome. And Ashley, Carnivore Brothers.
Hey, fully recovered from Montana. Let's go.
Ashley absolutely knocked it out of the park cooking for the big SPG meetup along with his brother Rhett. And Todd Bachnis did a lot of organizing there, but that was one heck of an event. But the food was next level. Huge shout out Ashley and Rhett for pulling all that together. Yes, and Dry Lakes Ranch, some incredible meat. Dry
That's
Lakes
right.
Ranch. Renee, Eating Meat to Walk, how's it going?
Hey, Kerry. Good. I am awesome.
Good. All right, so we're going to jump into your questions. I got 2 announcements before we start. One of them's kind of sad. Some of you might have heard this, but for those of you that didn't, very sad news. Sadly, we lost Alex Cannon a couple days ago. I put a video on my channel. His wife and son asked me to put something together. It's horrible news. Sadly, he passed away unexpectedly in his sleep, and they're waiting on the full report to see exactly what happened, but it's very sad news. I guess the only thing I'll say on this is a lot of people are reaching out. What can I do? This is so horrible. It's so devastating. And it is. And my best advice for you is go to Alex's YouTube channel and put some love on there. His family is reading all of the comments, and there's literally hundreds of comments of support and love for all of the work that Alex did. So I would encourage everyone to do that. All right, we're going to get into some questions. But before we do that, we got one more announcement. We got some meetups coming up. What do we got coming up, Ashley?
Yeah, we've got some exciting ones. Well, first, next one coming up. It's crazy. It's only a couple of weeks away. Montello, another Montello Theater meetup, and super excited about that. That's coming up July 26th, and we got quite a lineup already, which is awesome. Dr. Hampton, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, Lynn, and her husband Dave's going to be there, Jen and Emma, and then Coach Lisa. So quite a meetup there, and there's still tickets available for that. So jump on healinghumanity.movie/events. Get your tickets and get your spot now. I want to say there was about 20 tickets left. So if you're interested in going, you better jump on it pretty quick.
Yes, and I have there's a link in the description too if you didn't catch that. And then we also have this one coming up August 23rd.
Yeah, super excited about that one. First time for Ohio. I know there's a lot of people who've requested meetups in Ohio. So this one is officially official, and we are getting things lined up, and all the details are on the website. You can get the tickets to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dr. Nelson is going to get to unveil his full comedy routine. We're doing it at a comedy club. Can't wait to hear the full rendition of all his jokes, and excited about this one. This one's going to be a lot of fun. August 23rd.
A full 1 hour set from Dr. Nelson, nonstop carnivore comedy of 1 hour.
Nonstop comedy.
And
No
we got
pressure.
to mention this one too, coming up in Las Vegas, July 19th. Dr.
This
Kilt,
is-
Chris Brandlin, Adam's going to be there as well, July 19th. And this one you can get tickets. Where do we get tickets for this one?
You
Chris,
can go to
Chris Brand-
kiltsmeetup.com.
Kiltsmeetup.com.
Yep.
Kiltsmeetup.com. I think drkilts.com too is another one. I think that's it for the meetups for now. Other than, we got to shout out Hack Your Health. Adam, do you get the Hack Your Health details?
HackYourHealth.com and use the code HHLife for $100 off your ticket.
And
Last but not least, share your carnivore story. We're gathering stories from all over the world for our Healing Humanity series and also the book we're working on. And we've had a lot of people sharing their incredible stories. So if you want to have your story in our Healing Humanity book or possibly in the series we're working on, where we'll have an episode for each major health issue, you can submit that at healinghumanity.movie/testimony. All right, now we're going to... Yep.
By the way, the Boston meetup presentation by Dr. Seafried is out in our channel, Dr. Kilt's channel, and the full Dr. Seafried section is there.
Nice. Everyone go check that out. Dr.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, we're going to jump into some questions. First, let me see. We got a comment here from Ryder Weld. Today, July 10th, is my 2-year anniversary. I was in desperation as a pilot, losing my medical certificate. That all changed, Kerry, when 7/10/2023, I saw your post on carnivore eating. I never turned back.
Woohoo.
2 years later. Congratulations.
Awesome. Your carniversary. Congrats.
We've got something going on with people in the flight industry, pilots and flight attendants. It was the craziest thing. We've had a couple people just come up randomly, a pilot and a flight attendant when we flew out to Montana.
Maybe it's because you're traveling so much. That's why you're so popular in the airways.
That's a good point. You're right, because other than that, I'm in Montello, population 1,400, so everyone here kind of already knows me. That is awesome, Mo. Congratulations, Ryder. Question from Hack and Slack. Does anyone here use sous vide with cheaper cuts of meat?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
I definitely do.
Adam, what do you got to say about that? Any tips?
Oh, man. Well, sirloin tip is pretty good in the sous vide. But, yeah, mainly I just use chuck steak, chuck roast, cut it up 1.5 inches thick or so, just like a steak. So we cook that sucker for 24 hours and then dry it off, cool it off, and sear it off on the grill with the garden weeding torch. So it's pretty massive.
What temperature do you use?
The torch is probably like
No, but in the sous
5,000
vide.
degrees.
In the sous vide.
Oh, in the sous vide. Anywhere from 127 to 131, just depending really. Sometimes with I'll put expensive cuts in there too, like ribeye, and I'll cook those a little bit lower temperature, maybe 121 or so. And I know Dr. Baker does the same thing. I didn't know that he actually was like a sous vide connoisseur until we went and he cooked the steaks that way. So apparently he does that all the time.
One of the other really cool things about a sous vide is it holds that temperature there. So once you get it to that temperature, it holds it. So if you're in a time crunch for dinner, or you know you're going to have a short time for dinner or something like that, you can put it on hours beforehand and it's pretty much ready to go at that temperature, and then just sear it off real quick. And yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah. It won't overcook.
Yep.
Quick question here from St. Sean. What is the crown next to my comment? So I think that's kind of a newer feature on YouTube. The more you interact, you get what is it, XP? You get some points, you get a little bit of recognition. So comment away, chat away, ask questions, and you'll increase that on YouTube. It's kind of a cool feature. St. Sean said, hashtag ribeye. We're giving away a Healing Humanity shirt, so post your best question with hashtag ribeye. Hey healers, yesterday I ate 5 eggs, 6 pieces of bacon, goat milk, a little cheese, and a half a hamburger. I became very itchy and suspect histamine. How do I manage without eliminating food?
You have to, unfortunately. I mean, you can definitely if you want to keep eating the bacon and keep eating the egg whites and you don't want to eliminate the food, you're going to have to take antihistamines, and you can try a DAO enzyme. It may or may not work for you though, because if you don't have a naturally slow DAO enzyme intrinsically, the DAO it won't hurt you to take it, but you may not notice that it helps you. So the best thing to do is to do the low histamine version. But unfortunately, that means the egg whites, the bacon, depending on the cheese, some of the cheeses are higher histamine, and even if you're real sensitive, even the hamburger is higher histamine than other cuts of meat because it's ground beef and it has more surface for the histamine. So I would say ultimately the food elimination, but if not, antihistamines, and try the DAO.
All right, good stuff. Next question we have is for Lynn, hashtag ribeye. Have you tried cod liver?
I have not. I've heard that it is better tasting than the beef liver, but I have not tried it. It may be one of those things that I will eventually try.
All right, we got a question from Rob, 59, male carnivore, down 90 pounds in 42 months. Now 6 foot, 210 pounds, hit a stall, tried 2MAD, OMAD. Only way to make progress now is multiple day fasts several times per month. Anyone else experience this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think it's all that uncommon to hit the stall, but I am going to shout out Dr. Tony Hampton because he put out a video. I want to say it was yesterday or maybe the day before. It was an excellent video about the top 10 reasons why you might hit a weight loss stall on your carnivore journey. And so that's a really good one if you want to get a little bit more research. But, I'll just, my common advice on a weight loss stall is a lot of times there is various things of healing that's going on inside of your body. And so, it's not unusual to hit a stall while your body works on something else. And then, the weight loss can come back later on. But one of the things that Dr. Hampton's video pointed out to me that I didn't know that may be one of my issues is I may be eating a little too much fat at some points because I eat a lot of fat. And again, I love it. I enjoy it. But that may be something that I'm going to try measuring out a little bit more because that may be a possibility. So everybody's a little different. And so it's kind of hard to just pinpoint exactly what it is. That's why I really liked how Dr. Hampton put it with the 10 most frequent reasons you may hit a stall.
Yeah, I agree. I have had to decrease the fat too, but I think switching up the macros, not just the frequency of how often you eat or the quantity, can be really helpful just to keep your body guessing. Because and 90 pounds in 42 months is phenomenal.
Yes.
So, it could be that your body's just going, holy cow, look what I just did. And I need a break just to chill out for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's been several months and you're still stalled, try switching out, varying the macros, varying the quantity from day to day, just to get your body back into that mode of guessing. And that was helpful for me in breaking a stall.
All right. The next question we have. Carnivore for healing nervous system issues. Does it take a long time since nerves grow slowly?
Yes, very long time. I'm 16, 17 months into this now and still dealing with neuropathy issues. So yeah, it takes a long time for nerves to grow, like sometimes 2 to 3 years. So patience.
But you've had a lot of improvement.
Oh, drastic improvement. Yes. So within the first month, drastic improvement in the pain alone. So, and I'm doing a workout program now, and I'm lifting weights, which I never thought I would ever do again. So, I am seeing great progress. It's just patience.
And high fat, right?
Well, high fat till I tanked my metabolism and had too much fat and had to go back to more protein. But yeah, I did a lot of high fat in the beginning.
Okay.
Good stuff. I just want to say real quick, I appreciate all of the panelists on here for coming and sharing, and also Dr. Nelson. We got a comment here from Carnivore Cash. Dr. Nelson must never sleep. I see him sun up to sundown. Do you ever sleep, Dr. Nelson? And also, I just want to say we really appreciate you.
Well, as you probably know, Dr. Kiltz is a vampire, and he bit me. No. I gotta add that one. Yeah, today is a busy day usually, especially if I'm at the end of the day with Kerry. I've been several hours in front of the computer today.
Well, we appreciate you. All right, we got a question from Thinking for Myself. Hashtag ribeye. Post your best question with hashtag ribeye. I'm going to do a drawing in just a couple minutes for a Healing Humanity shirt. What is a good meat grinder? I'm thinking about buying one, but don't want junk. I'll take a shot at this. They're kind of expensive, but I've had this one for 10 years now, and it is a workhorse. We have a LEM meat grinder, LEM. The particular one I have is probably overkill, but it's called the Big Bite 22. And I would highly recommend it. It's definitely not a piece of junk. It's a workhorse, but it is a little expensive. But it's
I've
one of those
seen that.
things.
It's basically a commercial grinder.
Yeah. So if it were me, if I were to redo it, I would probably get the LEM brand because I like it, but maybe it's something not quite as big. But it's a little bit overkill. But if you're a carnivore, we use ours quite often because we grind up all of our pets' food with the grinder as well. So, and we do every year we do a big thing. We do homemade brats, and last year we did carnivore brats. That was pretty fun. But I don't know, Ashley, do you have a meat grinder, or anyone else have any recommendations for another one?
Yeah. Well, I was going to just throw in there a little cheaper version because most people at some point have in their kitchen, or a lot of people have in their kitchen, one of those Cuisinart baking blender things. And you can get an attachment for that on Amazon for not too expensive, $50 to $100, depending on which one you get. And that'll grind meat. That's what I use. I will give you a little tip though, because I made a mistake of getting one that's not stainless steel. So try and get one that's definitely stainless steel. The one that I got, and I throw everything in the dishwasher. I threw it in the dishwasher and it came out like black, and it was awful. I had to throw it away, but I got another one and it works great. Just get stainless steel.
I use my KitchenAid attachment as well, and that's how I grind meat, is with my KitchenAid.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. The Ordinary Christian said, just finished 7 months doing carnivore and I am 58 pounds lighter. Thanks for the encouragement.
Way to go.
That's amazing. In 7 months. Good job.
Life-changing. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing the good news. We really appreciate that. If you don't have questions and you have good news like this to share, we love to hear it and share it. So let us know.
Good vibe tribe.
Lynn, is having 1 day leftovers from the fridge okay if fighting histamine issues?
It depends on you. It's very individual because people have a spectrum of sensitivity. So you could try it, but I would say be aware of the different ways that a histamine issue can present, because it's different for everybody. It may be that you have some gut pain. It may be that your sinuses flare up. You might have skin issues. Sometimes it's things like heart palpitations. So I would say if you're sensitive, then definitely don't. You may have to freeze your leftovers and then just defrost them when you're ready to eat them. But be aware of the various ways that the histamine response presents itself. And you can always check out my histamine video. I do cover that in my histamine video. I cover all of the symptoms that histamine can cause. So that might be helpful to check out.
This might be a Dr. Nelson question. Why does LDL-C go up on a carnivore diet? Not that it is my concern, question mark.
Number one, did you watch Malcolm Kendrick, Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, author of The Cholesterol Con and The Clot Thickens? 2 days, yesterday or the day before, in our 6 a.m. If anyone wants to go and watch that, he was very insightful. So first of all, just like Dr. Kilt says, don't pay attention to it. That's his opinion, Dr. Malcolm Kendrick. Now, the reason it goes up, if you've read anything about the lean mass hyperresponder studies, is because when you decrease the amount of carbohydrates, more fat and more cholesterol needs to be trafficked around the body. And the problem really is not, like if you hear Dr. Veria, the problem is not just the total LDL cholesterol, but the quality and which cholesterol particles are increasing. So the best way of knowing if you have a pattern that is not good will be doing a lipoprotein fractionation, NMR also called, and that will give you a better insight. If your doctor is concerned about that, wants to avoid atherosclerosis, well, how about doing a test to see if you have atherosclerosis? But the most basic test will be a coronary artery calcium score, a CAC score.
All right, good stuff. Target Prime Rib, just wanted to thank everyone on the panel and the chat for all your support.
Well, thanks, Thomas.
We thank you for yours too. Thomas is a big supporter.
Yep.
We got a follow-up question about the sous vide. Isn't that cooking in plastic? Is there any way around that? Is silicone safe?
It can be in plastic. There's also silicone bags that you can get, which is supposed to be a little bit safer. Yeah, it's up to the individual as far as what kind of a risk they want to take with that. But typically, if you're cooking at a low temperature, like you do with sous vide, they say that it's not as harmful. But honestly, I don't know. You know, I'm not watching plastic particles come off the bag and into the meat and all that sort of a thing. So I really, honestly, I think it's really hard to quantify that. So maybe do your research on that and just double check for yourself.
But silicone would be safer
Right.
than regular plastic. However, you know, women, breast implants, silicone, there have been plenty that can get sick from that, autoimmune issues and other problems related to inflammation. But it is supposed to be better than just plastic.
All right, we got Bill V. Hello, Kerry and friends. Bill V from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Day 136 on carnivore. 60 years young. Feeling so good. I found a $1,500 rowing machine online for $300 and working out at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Whoa.
Good job, Bill V. And Bill had a second one here.
So great.
My lower back for the last 7 years pretty much kept me from doing anything fitness-wise. I'm wondering how many of you were able to go back into a fitness regimen after you started carnivore.
So 7 years with lower back, and now he's doing the rowing machine. I mean,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
That's amazing.
Way to go, Bill.
Yeah, I can do more fitness now than I probably ever have in I have had exercise intolerance with my mast cell disease for as long as I can recall. And so I'm actually getting into fitness now and having to take it slow because I can definitely overdo it. But Yeah, actually, it's not just being able to do it, but actually wanting to do it that has been the biggest surprise for me. Because with the exercise intolerance, it was nothing but a negative experience before. Because I try to exercise and then I'd have to recover for a week or more. So the actual mental part of actually wanting to work out was a massive, massive surprise.
Yeah, I share the same thing. I barely ever exercised until after I got healthier. And in retrospect, it's something that kind of upsets me because I always remember over the years hearing like, Kerry, you're just big, you're just overweight because you need to exercise more. Go to the gym, run, walk. And being sick and fatigued and depressed, it's hard to do those things. And it really wasn't true for me because almost all of the weight I lost, nothing of that had to do anything with exercise. In my case, anyways, it was almost all nutrition. Didn't start exercising until I lost the weight, got healthier, and had the energy to do it. And then, like Lynn, it started to be like, I feel like I want to exercise now. I feel like I have excess energy to exercise.
Yeah,
So,
that was my exact situation too. When I was heavy and sick, I couldn't exercise, so the weight came off first, and then the desire to exercise came.
Yep. And
good
it's
job,
free.
Bill V. Good job.
That's amazing for sure.
Okay, we got to do a drawing. We're going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt to one of the random questions that posted with hashtag ribeye. So here we go. This is be a Healing Humanity shirt in blue color. The winner of a Healing Humanity t-shirt in blue color is Joe. Congratulations, Joe. Adam, how can Joe claim his shirt?
Well, Kerry, Joe can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will promptly send you your shirt. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Joe. Good stuff. All right, we're going to do another giveaway here. We're going to give away a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. Post your best question with hashtag life. We have a heck of a community. We do about 12 Zoom calls per week, breaking addictions calls. We've got doctors, experts. We just did our Inspire Together call, which we do every Thursday night. That is a lot of fun and very inspiring. Hashtag life. And if you're interested in joining, we have 50% off your first month at healinghumanity.life. There's a promo code LIFE725, and it is also in the description below. Make sure you follow each of the individuals you see here on the screen. There's a link in the description for that as well. And post your best question with hashtag life. David has a question. Have you ever ate a ribeye raw? I cooked mine today rare, but I cut a piece off and ate it raw. It was grass-fed, finished. Dr. Kiltz believes we are designed to eat raw meat.
I've ate them raw.
I have not.
I've not eaten a full ribeye, but I will say in Montana, I did try some of the bone marrow raw, and it was fantastic. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really good. I actually tried the smoked one, and I tried the raw one. I like the raw one better. And more, I'm eating my steaks very blue. Sear the outside of it, and that's about it.
I'm with you. It seems like the further along on our carnivore journeys, we go more and more rare.
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody recently, and maybe it was on one of our Zoom calls on Healing Humanity Life, mention something about it tends to be men have an easier time than women eating the really rare meat. And I don't know if that's a reality or if that's just a perception.
Probably perception.
Maybe.
I would think.
Probably perception, but I could say it's true in my family.
I agree. I agree. It seems to be that more women have problems with the fat, the texture, and definitely eating raw meat.
It's a texture thing for me. I used to be, more concerned because I didn't realize that the red liquid is not blood; it's myoglobin that's coming out, and it turns red when exposed to to oxygen. So it's like I had to get past the mental thing that okay, it's not blood that I'm looking at, but it's the textures that I struggle with more with the raw meat, because it's like I like the firmness when I'm cutting through it, and the raw tends to be squishy and harder to cut. and maybe not, maybe I'm not getting the right meat to do raw, but that's been my struggle.
We've got a celebrity in the building, Bill Knott.
Woo.
Howdy, Bill.
Welcome, Bill. If you guys aren't watching Bill's YouTube channel, you're missing out. Bill Knott on YouTube.
Wait, who's Bill Knott? I'm kidding.
And Amy, a question for me. Do you feel old now that your girls are all 18 and over? How is Carnivore helping you deal with this? Thank you, Amy. Yes, I am feeling old. No, it's kind of crazy thinking that I have 4 children that aren't children anymore. They're all over age 18. It blows my mind. Still trying to wrap my brain around it. I'm still processing it. They just turned 18 yesterday. It is a great question, though, Amy, because I believe Carnivore is helping me deal with this. I feel like I'm much more present and in the moment than I ever was before when I was eating a standard American diet and I had brain fog and I was just kind of going along to get along. It's one of those things that's hard with Carnivore because you can't go back and change things, but I do have a lot of regret and wish that I had this with my girls their entire lives, but I'm thankful for what I have now, for sure. And they're all 18, but they're not. Jen and I were just talking about this earlier. They're not moving out for a long time, so we got some time to make up.
That means you treated them too well.
Yeah. I was joking. I was joking with Alyssa earlier. We were traveling and coming home, and I said, when you come home, all of your stuff from your bedroom, your bed, and everything is going to be sitting out on the front lawn because you're 18 now. It's time to move on. It was a joke. It was a joke. She's not moving on. All right. Norman has a question. What's the lady's name who has the video on histamines? That's the lady right there. Midlife Carnivore is the name of the YouTube channel.
My channel is Midlife Carnivore.
You need to change it to midlife histamines or something.
Oh my goodness.
And Lynn's channel is linked in the description below. But seriously, if anyone is having issues with histamine, Lynn has one of the best videos on the topic. She's got a great YouTube channel, so check that out. Link in the description below.
For sure.
Viva Cristo Ray has a question. #life. We're giving away free 30 days to healinghumanity.life, so post your question with #life. How can you tell if you're under eating? I'm not hungry much.
I gained weight. A lot of weight.
Yeah, I too would say it might be helpful to use a smart scale and watch your body composition, because you'll find that you might be losing muscle if you're not eating enough. And so that can be helpful. It's hard when you're not hungry. And depending on how long you've been carnivore, it might be that you need to make yourself eat a little bit more, because our hunger signals do get turned off when we're used to restricting. And so it hopefully will get better as time goes on, but you may need to eat more frequently if you're struggling and not getting enough and just literally can't eat enough in one sitting, which I have struggled with. You may need to eat more often so that you can get more during the day.
Oh, I love this question from Chris Stearns. Let's go. Picking up my first smoker this weekend. Welcome to the group, Chris Stearns. Welcome to the group. Pit Boss Pellet, time frame on smoking a brisket and box temperature. Can't wait to enjoy smoked goodness on demand. #ribeye. So I'll say mine quick, but Ashley's probably the go-to, or Adam maybe, or anyone else. Feel free to jump in, but I did mine at 225 is the temperature of the box. And in terms of the time, it really depends on the size of the brisket. Sorry. I saw ribeye there, and I'm like, are we talking brisket or ribeye? It just depends on the size of the brisket. I've had some that stall out a long time. I use a Bluetooth thermometer, and I go for, I think, around 165. It usually stalls out, and then I wrap it, and then I try to get it to 205. I think I have those numbers right. I don't know, Ashley. Well, Ashley's really the expert here. I'm plugging. Ashley's the expert, and he just did this as well out in Montana. And we were walking by the smoker, and our shirts all smelled like smoke, and it was pretty awesome.
Smells great. That's my smoke cologne. Yeah. Chris, you got to call me. We got to. Well, I'll help you through it. But man, I agree with Kerry. But one of the things I like to say is make sure when you pull it off, when it finally gets done, there's 2 really important things. you'll get used to the feel, but right around between 202, 205, 206, that's a pretty good idea of when it's going to be done. But you get used to the feeling of it. When you probe it, it should feel like soft butter, like just no resistance going through there. And that way you know it's done when you probe into the flat part of it. There's 2 points on there, the flat and the point. The other big tip I'll say is let it rest afterwards. And the way I do it is I let it rest. I keep the temperature probe in there. I let it come down to at least 180 degrees, if not maybe 170, and then just hold it right there at that temperature for as long as you want to. A lot of brisket places, a lot of barbecue places will hold it for 24, 48 hours. So you don't have to hold it that long. But if you've got that way, it's done ahead of time. Wait till your meal a couple of hours later, hold it at that. I don't know if Pit Boss has the warming method. I know Traeger does, which I love. You just put on warm and it keeps it at a constant 160, which is beautiful.
Who's hungry? Hey, Chris Stearns is coming to the world famous Montello Theater meetup too. Chris, just bring that bad boy, throw that in the back of the truck.
There you go.
Bring it over. We'll show you how to get that thing working.
Hey, one more tip. Always be on the lookout for good brisket sales, because occasionally it happens. It wasn't even advertised. I walked into our Kroger this week and they were on for $2.99 a pound. So I bought 4 of them. Yep. 4 of them and threw them in the freezer, ready to go, stocked up for next time.
The Ordinary Christian said, 20 years ago, I had a gastric bypass and now am iron deficient due to malabsorption. Is there a way to improve the absorption of iron without iron infusion?
First, you get a liver or use organ meats or liver supplements. That's one method. That might not be enough because now you're missing part of the absorptive surface in your stomach. Infusions, of course, that will be a direct method of putting iron. The other thing that may help, although for most things supplementation might not be necessary, adding a little bit of vitamin C may increase the absorption of iron. So you might not need a lot. 30 milligram tablet would probably be enough. Taking it with either your meal that has iron, your meat, your liver, or if you are taking iron supplements, take it with the iron supplement.
We got quite a few histamine questions tonight. Here's one from Kerry Duffy. Carnivore for 60 days and have tried to reintroduce very low-carb foods. I end up with histamine reactions that have surprised me. Never before so extreme. What might be going on?
Hi, Kerry. Her and I actually met at Fogo de Chao a couple weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And spent like 4 hours hanging out. So she lives in Washington too. So that's awesome. So trying to reintroduce very low carb foods, ending up with histamine reaction. So I'd be curious which low carb foods you're trying to introduce. And whether or not it's truly a histamine reaction. So text me and we can talk about it, because I'd want to nail down, like, is it really a histamine or is it possibly oxalates? And what foods are you actually introducing? That could help kind of narrow down what might be going on, and we can talk about it. So you got my number, just text me.
All right, we got a question from Michael. Is carnivore able to help heal deteriorating spinal discs? My brother is suffering from this.
So I have experience from both sides of the equation here. Personally had back surgery. November will be 38 years ago. My back is, it's ugly on the x-rays and MRIs, a lot of arthritis. The disc itself may not get repaired with the diet, but oh boy, there is no pain. So if so the problem with the disc is always the pain. Just having a herniated disc, in case you don't know it, if they take X-rays on MRIs on everyone, just a cohort of people, up to half of them will have herniated damage, whether it's disc bulging. This is what statistics bear. That doesn't mean everybody has pain. So the pain will get better. It it seems everybody does. I also have very bad degenerative changes in my neck, but don't suffer uh, from any problems. Also, some herniated disc in the neck. So the problem is the pain, always the pain, uh, and that gets better.
All right. Scott says, shout out to Kerry, man. Thanks for getting the word out to those CKD patients. Thank you, Scott. And Chris Stearns, $5 super chat. I gave my daughter an envelope full of U-Haul pamphlets for her 18th. She thought it was money till she opened it. Oh,
Surprise!
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, man. Why didn't you tell me that a day ago, Chris? That's awesome.
You're not too late to do that.
Right?
As a matter of fact, put an IOU. I'll pay for the U-Haul rental.
Right. That's awesome. Okay, we've got another question. Little Birch, does anyone on the panel use meat subscription boxes like ButcherBox or order meat online? If so, which ones or where?
I just received yesterday 2 boxes of Wild Pastures. If you went to my channel and you really subscribe, you may see there a link. And I like it. I also buy at Sam's and Costco, not Costco, so I don't go to Costco, but Walmart and my Spanish supermarket. So it's not that I'm exclusively buying that, but it is grass-fed, grass-finished cuts of meat. Very, very good.
Yeah, I get a weekly box from Imperfect Foods, but I found it kind of hit and miss with their meat. But I usually do order something, and it's just less expensive. So if depending on how you make it, if the cut's a little tough, you can do sous vide. It usually works out pretty well there. But that's as close as I get to a subscription box.
Yeah, I usually order from Wild Fork, but here's a warning. Do not get the super cheap stuff that's quote unquote Brazilian beef. I'm not even sure it's beef. I think it might be horse or something.
No.
Oh my.
It tastes really funny, so don't order the Brazilian. But the other stuff seems to taste really good.
Good stuff. I've used ButcherBox a couple times and enjoyed it. They have, I think most of their meat was from Australia, but last year, I think they started working with farms, independent local ranches in the United States, and they started offering grass-fed steaks that were really good. I really like those. So, all right. Another question we have is, thinking for myself, have you found that eating carnivore is actually cheaper than eating the junk?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Lots of head nods on that one.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not necessarily because the price per unit of food is cheaper. It's you're not eating as often. And, I mean, when I was eating junk, I felt like I was eating all day because
Yeah, you're not drinking your calories like a $10 Starbucks drink. Just a drink alone. Yeah.
And I don't throw away all the vegetables and fruits that go bad anymore.
Yeah.
seriously.
That's a huge one that people don't consider. You buy a big thing of salad, you only eat half of it. You just paid double the money for it. You're probably not doing that honest math.
And I haven't even met my deductible on my insurance plan because I never have to go to the doctor. And I used to meet it early on. And I used to max out all my PTO when I was working and have to take time off without pay because I was always sick beyond what I had available and get on FMLA. I mean, all the different things that aren't specifically, it's the savings. It's not that it's not just even food, it's other things. No, less medication, and I mean, it goes on and on. Is where you're going
Yeah.
to save money.
And all those things mean quality of life.
Yeah. Jen and I were at the grocery store recently, and we saw a friend. They were kind of far away, and they were just furiously like writing stuff down. And it was kind of a realization. We're like, hey, we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have lists anymore when you go to the grocery store, and you're going to ruin dinner if you don't have this spice or sauce or side dish or something. I'm like, this is so much nicer. We literally just go in the grocery store for like 5 minutes, grab the meat, eggs, and bacon, and we're out of there, sort of thing. So.
And seasonings are expensive.
Yeah, and there was always something like you got to have this for this dinner, and it was always just a nightmare. It's kind of funny when you look in our cabinets now, where all the seasonings used to be. It's kind of, you don't need as many cabinets either. You could save money that way too.
Get a smaller house.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you too. It's funny. This week I was in our Tom Thumb, which is a grocery store here local. I'm in Texas, so it's a little cheaper, but they had their ribeyes on sale for $6.99. I walked by. I have to go through the bakery, unfortunately, to get to the meat department. So I'm walking through the bakery. I look over, and there's the Hawaiian rolls. Remember those Hawaiian rolls that everybody loves? That thing was $8.99. So my ribeye was cheaper than the Hawaiian rolls. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Some bougie
Oh my gosh, I used to eat those like candy.
Oh yeah.
right?
You cannot eat one of them.
No.
I
Just
don't.
one. If
I'm
you
not
ate
trying to
one-
trigger anyone. Sorry. I just
No,
thought
it doesn't definitely doesn't trigger me because I remember, it was that eating that got me so unhealthy.
Yep.
So like, why on earth would I ever want to do that again?
Okay. All right. Thinking for myself, what is the best thermometer? I have never used one, but I would love to fine tune my grilling. I wrap my steak to rest, a must.
ThermoWorks ThermoPen 1 is a top dog, but it's expensive.
We talked about that one. It's expensive, and if money's not an issue, that's definitely the best one. It's very fast on the reading, but there's a lot of cheaper options out there that all work really well. Some of them just don't read quite as quickly, so you have to stick it in the meat, hold it for just a second before it gets to reading. But it's most anything that you get out there pretty darn accurate.
You can find one of those that you have to be sticking on the steak every time you want to check for $10, $12, probably at Walmart.
Yep.
And from there up, I for many years I used to use Meter, and I had one single one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the wireless one.
I accidentally burned that one on the grill.
Whoops.
And I got a gift. I think it was a gift from my wife of the Meter that comes 4 in a pack.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
I have been using that for many, many years. It just went bad. It always worked very good. So I'm looking at.
All right. Carnivore Cash says, I told my wife carnivores don't need as much vitamin C because we don't have all of the oxidative stress from plants. Am I right?
So more specifically, vitamin C competes for the same receptor that is used to absorb glucose into the cells and across the intestines. And since you don't have that much to be absorbed of the glucose and carbohydrates, you can absorb the very small amounts of vitamin C that are in regular meat. If you want higher amounts of vitamin C, liver.
All right. And the correct answer is no, you are not right, Carnivore Cash, because you're telling your wife something and probably not right. I know I'm not.
It's just automatic.
Right. Big Butch says, my small and medium LDL are both over 600. Should I be concerned? I'm going in for a CAC tomorrow, but I'm a bit concerned. 8 months on this way of eating. I am down from 308 to 214. I feel amazing.
That's good.
So a lot of that damage has been done over the past 20, 30, 40 years. Wherever you are now is just where you are now. You have to take a look back at where you were coming from. So whatever you have, you don't have your CAC score yet, and we'll see what it is. So it doesn't matter really the level until you know your CAC score, and from there you can uh, go on to have other tests that are useful. Yes, the small dense particles are associated with more risk. So you want them large and fluffy, not small and dense.
Hey, I just
Someone
have
around here told me that we were going to do a whole video on that. I
we
haven't heard from him.
we gotta do that, Dr. Nelson. So I went in and I did I think they called it an advanced lipid panel where they showed the size of the particles. I'm going to do a video with Dr. Nelson. I really appreciate your time doing that. We got to connect on that one. Just a quick question, follow up though, Dr. Nelson. So the CAC, I I always thought that was something that would be hard to get and kind of out of my reach, but is it pretty easy to get a CAC test? Like, do you have any idea what the cost would be? I thought I heard someone say the other day, like, yeah, you could just kind of schedule that like you do your blood work through like Alta Labs or whatever.
So number one, I got mine for free a year and a half ago because there's a company here in Orlando that will give you that test for free and try to upsell you with other things. But even if you had to pay for it, you can find it probably somewhere between maybe 69 to 199 depending on your location. Yes, you might find someone wants to charge you more than that. You can just look. It's a very easy test. Everybody that does CT scans will be able to do a CAC score because it is a CT uh, test without contrast, and you can check with the big X-ray providers in your area to see how much it is. You can shop around, and it's something that many, if you're gonna pay cash, many will do it without even the doctor's prescription.
Good to know.
Depending on the state, not every state does that, but
I'm going. That's my homework. I'm going to go schedule that. I'm going to get it done, and then Dr. Nelson and I are going to do a video. So I'll have everything for you. We'll have the advanced lipid panel and the CAC score. I think that would be a helpful video for others to kind of see. All right. Question from Penny. Penny asks, is there anything I can do about stenosis in my lower limbs? I have been ketovore since 2018.
so stenosis is a word that can be associated with a spinal stenosis causing symptoms in your legs, or with arterial stenosis because it's a circulatory problem, which means atherosclerosis. So I don't know which one you're referring to, but symptomatology from either one, yes, can get better. If it's arterial blockages, then you may need additional testing, and what happens in your legs, in your brain, in your, can be happening in your heart, in your carotids. So you might want to have some additional tests.
Jolene said it was great to meet you, Adam, Kerry, and Dr. Nelson in Boston, and learned so much.
Yeah, it was awesome meeting you, Jolene.
And here's an interesting question from Bill Cook. So if raw steak, why not raw chicken or raw pork?
There are some proponents for that, but I haven't ate raw chicken or raw pork yet, but I might.
I would imagine you'd have to make sure it's from a really, really clean source. As with anything,
And really fresh.
Very fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Michael said, thank you for your answer, Dr. Nelson. I've been carnivore for 18 months, doing great, but my family won't listen to me about it.
It's very common.
Any of the 6 people here have everyone in their family 100%? I know Kerry, even in the immediate family,
Right.
everybody, almost everybody, and they I know they are not 100% all the time, right?
Right.
I think it's basically the same for everyone.
Well, I've been pretty blessed to have really good support, but I also waited quite a while before I said anything to my family that lives out of state. So by the time they knew that I was doing this,
They
they
had
saw,
seen the change.
they saw the change when they came up for my daughter's wedding last year. And my sister cried because of the change in me, and she told me that she was so emotional because she knew now that I was going to live. So I had nothing but support.
And I always I don't want to sound pessimistic, but even if it doesn't extend your life, if the rest of your life you can live it at a higher quality of life, that to me is enough of a good result.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
Right. We don't have any guarantee that we're going to be here tomorrow.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we're coming towards the end of the hour. We're going to do a drawing for the Healing Humanity membership, free 30 days. Before we do that, you guys got anything you want to announce or mention? Adam, Lynn, Dr. Nelson, Ashley, or Renee?
Just shout out the Vegas meetup again. I'll be there in I think it's a couple of weeks. Actually, it might be like 8 days or something.
It is 9 days from today.
Yeah.
9 days from today, I'll be there.
Excellent.
KiltzMeetup.com. I know there's a lot of people that weren't on when we announced this initially. KiltzMeetup.com. There's a big meetup in Las Vegas. Chris Brandlin, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, Adam's going to be there. And we have a meetup in Ohio, a meetup in Montello, and several others. Go to healinghumanity.movie/events, and there's a link in the description below.
I do have something else, and that is tomorrow. We normally give a prize at 6 a.m. Tomorrow is a very, very special prize. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to tune in.
It's a date with Dr. Nelson.
We have to be live. You have to be live to be able to win the prize, because just like we're doing right now, we use the same tool. It's hashtag whatever we're going to put, and you have to put it during the live streaming. So it's very big.
Good stuff.
And I also want to share, so I know we didn't get to all the questions, and those of you who are watching, you see there's a promo code on the bottom, scrolling through. We do have our membership site, Healing Humanity Life, and there is a promo code for 50% off. We answer questions in Zoom calls on our site as well, and we can talk to you face to face. And it's also really helpful too, because within this forum, we can't really gather all the information necessarily. And so if you want to be able to discuss further what's going on, we can do more back and forth, a little bit of nursing assessment sometimes when, in that forum. So we'd love to have you guys, come on and join us and get some more interaction with us there.
Good stuff. All right, here we go. Free 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life.
Got to work on the timing of that.
Do it again.
Juliette Marie, congratulations, Juliette. Adam, how can Juliette claim her prize?
Well, Kerry, Juliette Marie can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will send you your special code. Congratulations.
Good stuff. Well, thank you guys so much for all of your wonderful questions. We do this every Thursday night, Carnivore Q&A Live. And thank you so much to all of the panelists here, Adam, Lynn, Dr. Nelson, Ashley, and Renee. Again, you can follow all of them, link in the description below. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Good night.
Bye for now.